right, welcome everyone to the Monday stream. And of course, I hope you're having a great start to the week. It's big earnings. We've got some of the biggest tech stocks out there coming in with their earnings this week. We've got, of course, a little bit of information, that jobs number, that pesky non-farm payrolls on Friday. And of course, we've had some moves over the weekend, some huge crashes in oil, taking out some stop losses, obviously pushing down to some significant lows, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then we've had crypto finding a little bit of form around the levels that we'd hoped it would. So Bitcoin starting to come back fairly strong. Gold, silver still struggling. US market futures up, but there is a gap. So we'll talk about that in a moment. And of course, what are we thinking for the week ahead? All right, let's go and see what's happening here with S&P 500 to start off with. Well, I would like to also say, is everyone doing well in the chat? I see quite a lot of regulars here. I know it's a little bit earlier. We've got daylight savings going on all around the world, so some of you may be at different time slots, but it's still 10:30 p.m. here in Australia for any of the Australian viewers. S&P 500. Now let's have a look. Closes at 58.08. In the weekend video, which I'm sure many of you guys have seen, we talked about how this had some selling into the close. Then this morning, the futures market opened up, and you can see here, this is the close, this is the open. This is the first kind of little bit of session, and we pretty much hit the res straight away. So we're back to the most traded zone, and we have created a gap. So what I always like to do in these sessions is mark out where we're actually opening, which is around at this stage 58.39. So 58.39, which would put us up here, and recognize that we have a gap that could be forming. So of course, this is the type of level that you'll want to be looking at on the charts. And that's because, when we gap up like this, there's a chance of filling it, isn't there? We had a gap over here, we filled it. We had a gap over here, we filled it. We're getting a lot of gaps up, down, all around. And this is because we're in a bit of a trap market. But in general, I would say the bears are controlling this level pretty well. Now, if we take this high, which I want to mark out this week, so that's 58.65. If you take that high this week and we get a close above it, I think that's quite significant towards pushing to a new all-time high. And at the same time, maybe this is the pullback that we're going to get for now coming into the US elections. A lot going on in the US elections. Obviously, the final, week and a bit now until it's all over. And hopefully it's all over and we can move forward past the US elections. But there's really been very little volatility this year into these elections, which is kind of normal, really. A lot of people get carried away with significant volatility. Remember, markets tend to climb the wall of worry. And when we surveyed actually a lot of our community, we found that 60% of people were changing their investment strategies based on the election. That is a bad idea. You shouldn't really change your investment strategies based on the election, because I've already told you, we've already shared the stats before, the 3 months after the election, historically, I think across the board, are always bullish if you look at them together. So yeah, it doesn't really matter who wins, how they win, whatever's going on. Differing rates of return, but of course, in general, the bullishness is there. So US 500 at res coming into today's open with a gap potential of 58.08. And that will be probably what most day traders are looking at. Let's just quickly go down to the 5-minute chart to see how the actual Asian and London session has traded so far. We've got a lot of structure. We went to a higher high during the London Open and the post open, and then we've pushed back down at this stage. If we go below 58.36, I think that rallies past that point will probably want to be faded into the gap fill. That's at least from the TA perspective. Something like I'm drawing on this screen right now is the general thought process that we would go in with the US 500 for today. And I think that's probably the most logical kind of conclusion. Let's get off that one though now and have a look at some of the other markets that are moving. We'll go over to oil because this is probably the discussion point of most of the day. And sometimes you win them and sometimes you don't. Now, this one was a little bit of a nasty Monday surprise for some people. Obviously, stop losses under here getting hunted early in the session, and oil right back down onto the trend line, right back down into the demand area, and absolutely no bid. So why is this? Well, I guess the market is saying, you know what, geopolitical tensions, maybe they are, let's say, a little bit more relaxed. Yes, there was, of course, a counter, but people expected that it to be worse. And this is just how oil is into an election and geopolitical tensions. Sometimes you're going to win it, sometimes you're not going to win it. I've actually already analyzed this a few times today, and I think that it was still a fair trade. There are both cases to be made of when this happened here and it rallied here, shorters could have been around. But of course, I do think that the long was also pretty solid when you matched UK oil with US oil. And as I've been saying a little bit to our private community, as I said, well, it's been a little bit too good recently. And what that means is that some of the trading systems that we've been replicating have had ridiculous statistics. And when that happens, you're going to eventually get nailed. And of course, this is a case of a trader that was doing a day trade or a scalp getting stop lossed into the open. And obviously a swing trader starting to say, well, whoa, 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 whoa. I've only got protection a little bit now. I need to see a bid on oil. And of course, things can change over the next 24 hours. Would I buy here? Probably not. I would wait and see. Now, why? Because things have changed. A big sell happened. 6% is no joke. That's a fairly large move. And as we often say, patience, react, don't predict. In this case, if it rejects back up, finds a big wick, that could be very interesting towards a massive rally on oil. We don't know that's happening yet, though, yeah? So, as you can see here, we do not know. This is the big discussion point of today, but we will have to assess the situation based on closures and based on reactions off these levels down here. Don't lose sight of the fact that when on weekly, this is really pressing down on some significant support lines. But again, no bid. So if there's no bid, we'll have to consider it. Buy the dip for US oil. Frederick asks, look, to me, I think that's the way I'd play it. I would be patient here if you are somebody that likes to live dangerously. I think there have been previous buys that have been a lot better than this one here. And I would usually go with patience, react, and predict in this case. I think it's better to do that. Let's move over to a better news story, which is, of course, Bitcoin. Bitcoin, crypto markets in general, starting to find a little bit of their groove. Really nice move here this morning. Is this based on the election or not? I tend to believe it isn't. I tend to believe that a lot of these storylines, oh, Trump's going to win, crypto's going up, or oh, Kamala's going to win, do this, do that. I would not worry about those things. Ignore the narrative. Instead, just watch the price action. That's all that matters, guys. And in this case, the price action's been bullish recently. The statistics have been bullish recently. I did like this one at around this level for the buy. And this is a good start to the start of the session. So trying to push that 69K, that's a good start. We get a daily close up there, probably going to a new high. And then maybe even will we see an all-time high? It might be up Movember or whatever we're going to call it, up-vember. Because, yeah, things are looking much better in the way that this is structuring at this stage. And that's a good sign, of course, for crypto fangirls and fanboys. Anyone out there liking Bitcoin at the moment or any of the other Bitcoin style positions? Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum finding some strength, but again, not as good as Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes through 25.65. That's going to be a lot stronger for the Ethereum comeback as well. Solana coming up a little bit. And of course, I saw a few of you guys going, what about Litecoin, man? Isn't that so 2017 Litecoin? Let's have a look. I haven't looked at this chart for a little while. $70. Seems like it's been there forever. And that's because it probably has. Litecoin. I'm seeing quite a few people mentioning this one. It hasn't really, I mean, it's had obviously some amazing runs of percentage gains on them. You can see here the 2020-21 gain. You can see the 17-18 gain. This one was way too hilarious. I remember the original guy that was involved in Litecoin. Over here, he's like, hey guys, I'm going to sell all my coins. See ya. And don't worry, in the future, I'm sure it'll be back. Well, he wasn't lying. It was back. Just took a while. But I always remember him saying, see ya. I'm out. Goodbye. Anyone else remember that one? Tom, do ETH-BTC, not ETH-USD. Ah, yes, the old ratio trade. So you guys, it seems like crypto traders, sometimes I feel like they're into some pretty good methods. I do love a good long short strat kind of concept, which is obviously if you look at ETH/ETH-USD, let's just go ETH/BTC. I'm not sure if it'll actually do it properly as a ratio inside of this. Looks about right. So this is, of course, Ethereum weakening against Bitcoin. That seems about right in terms of getting back down. Eventually, I would not be surprised to see Ethereum back into this level here. And it's always good to know your ratios. If you're up at a 0.5 with ETH-BTC, it's always a good idea to really question whether you should still be in Ethereum. And if you're down in these kind of doldrum levels, 0.2 kind of levels, then it's always a good question of why aren't you in Ethereum? And this is a great way of looking at stuff. But yes, it's been weakening here for a while. Oz says, been trading BTC pairs since 2013. That's the way to go. Yeah, we love BTC. You mean slash BTC pairs? Oh, it's okay if you like being in the ecosystem. To me, I like USD still. So remember, I'm a little old school. I like the dollars because I like other asset classes. I'm not just all crypto. We're obviously here on the channel. We talk crypto. I like making money. When the money's there, I'll talk about crypto all day long if necessary. But realistically, to me, I like looking at it versus USD. This is good more as a strength ratio. Is it strong or weak versus this particular coin? Now, I remember when all my friends were in crypto back in 16 and 15, and everyone was like, Satoshis, we got to have the Satoshis and we got to have BTC. We do everything like this way. Look, this isn't the way I like to do it because at the end of the day, I want my fiat money. And you know why I want my fiat money? So I can go put my fiat money into a house, or I can go put my fiat money into sectors in the stock market. Remember, I love the stocks, guys. We love the stocks. We love the bricks and mortar. We love the bondos. I like the metals. We can't just love the crypto all day or anything. It's times for every asset class. And that's what this channel's about. We go through the different asset classes. I'd get bored if we were just running American market all day. It is the best market in the world, by the way, but I'd still get bored. I'm sure you guys would too, because you want to go and find the beauty of this game, the market that we're trading in, is that it's money flowing around different sectors and different areas. Sometimes it's great to be in the Bitcoin. Sometimes it's great. Well, Bitcoin's always okay, but it's pretty good to be in the Bitcoin sometimes. Sometimes we want to be in gold, such as most of 2024. Trend is your friend, not today. It's weak BTC. It's bloody weak. Well, this is Ethereum. It's horrendous. Ethereum is trading crap. Anyway, that's all right. We know that Ethereum is bad. I wouldn't say this is weak. I think this looks pretty good. What's wrong with this chart? Open interest is 15 billion in crypto. It's absolutely cooked when it unwinds. It's an interesting concept. Well, I'm only in crypto. Yeah, well, that's right. This is always the way that you always know someone's always in crypto. When they talk in BTC slashes, that's all right. I'm in all. Hey, Fintech Satoshi. Is it Fintech Atoshi? I always remember. Shakamoto. What's a Shakamoto, by the way? Always good to have you here, Fintech. I'm not sure what is that like Sharknado? I assume Shakamoto, some coin. Sharknado. Anyone here seen Sharknado? I highly encourage to watch Sharknado and fast forward. Whether it's Sharknado 1, Sharknado 2, or I believe there is also Sharknado 3. BTC NVDA. Wow. Japanese shark, yeah. Anyone take a look at Phillips tonight? Oversold bad. I haven't looked at that for a while. Michael says here, all big banks are going. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Citibank, HSBC, all are going to fall in 2025. Oh my goodness. Is that real? Let's do a poll and ask, are banks going to come under incredible pressure in 2025? In fact, I got a better poll. Let's ask the poll right now. So here we go for the people watching on YouTube. Well, here we go. Here we go, guys. Is the market... Here we go. I'm going to ask it. All right. I want to see answers for this one because you know what? Rather than just say the banks, I want to answer this. Let's see. We're getting close to the end of 2024. We can do. Why can't we do a 2025 prediction from the community? Tom only hates airlines. That's true. I absolutely hate airlines. I also don't really like car companies. They've tended to be terrible. Now I know Tesla is the exception because Tesla is obviously being a bit of an AI/electronics play. And but generally speaking, if you look at all of the car companies, they are horrible. And yes, I don't like aeroplanes. Why? Because I could be sleeping. One of them falls out of the sky. Very unfortunate event, of course. But also the next morning, my stock's going to down itself 25% and probably never recover. Clay says here we saw the cough in August. This was, of course, to do with the US dollar yen and the yen in general, and of course the Nikkei. 2025 is crypto bull run, man. Yeah, it's doing all right now. Crash is over 20%. That is right. Thank you. We'll put that on the screen as you're voting. Lively Stone says 2026 crash. And then Jeff says, depends what you mean by crash. I want 20% plus. Okay. Don't be saying yes unless you think it's going down 20% plus. None of this 5-10% business. I'll put that in the title and say crash happening and when it's 10% down. But but you know what I mean. Needs to be 20% plus. Either way, here guys, Bitcoin looking pretty good. Good start to the week. Obviously strong. Looking like it might take this high. And we're seeing generally the crypto market improving. So this is a fairly positive sign. Stock market, I'm not 100% convinced of the rally here this morning. Of course, the NASDAQ is loving itself coming into earnings, and we do have a lot of earnings. So do remember this week is earnings week. Let's quickly jump on over. I think one of these charts is no, that's not it. That's not it. That's it. All right, let's quickly zoom this out here. There we go. So this is some of the big earnings that we've got this week. We have PayPal, we have AMD, we've got Google, we have McDonald's, which is already down 10% on some kind of poison that they've put into some burgers, I believe. Meta, Microsoft, Caterpillar, Lilly. Wow, it's pretty wild. Uber, Amazon, Intel, Apple. Apple only move about 3.8% according to the options market. Microsoft about 4 and a bit, but Meta's out there at 8+. So it really is an earnings season of pretty much single stocks moving in big ways. So take of this what you will. I think all of these are going to be good after the fact style trades. Some of the ones that I've been looking at on the charts in terms of have good charts. Google, of course, has a potential inverse head and shoulders, and Intel has kind of like a creation as well. So if we actually jump on over here, we'll just go to Google, start off with, because if you look at it on a chart, I think anybody will be able to see this as a critical resistance coming up for the chart at about 169-ish. And it's up 2% this morning, so it's already trying to gap into this area here. This will be a big closure, and it does look like an inverse head and shoulders. And the obvious close level that most people will be going for after that is about 181, 182. So decent flow could come into Google. And the other one was Intel. Now, I've heard the new chip sucks. I heard it sucks. Does anyone else know? Chat, you guys tell me. Big nerd out there that's been looking at all these new chips. I haven't actually followed for a while, but I did hear that the new chip sucks. So does that matter for our stock kind of ideas here? Not really. But in general, it's been a beaten down one. Of course, it had a really bad earnings announcement. Everyone hates it. There'll be a decent amount of fear in this one. This is expected to be a big move. The rally could be significant, though. Could go up to the $30 bracket. And obviously the pullback, well, that's going to go and press a 19 if it's bad. So it's a give or take. I think it's been improving on the charts, even though it's been going sideways for a bit. But this is the chop leading into the Intel move. So will Intel rally up or down? Maybe the chat can let me know. New Intel chip is slow. Thank you very much there, Mr. Redabor. 83,000 unread emails. It sucks for consumer gamers, but will be good for commercial users. There we go. Darth Buddha says that. Crash says it's bad. Intel's new chip does suck. There we are. Quite a few. No political discussion if we can help it. Yes, thank you. Mag7 is about to pull the market up this week. Certainly a possibility. Watch that level we set for the S&P before. If it does close above there. Look, there's no doubt that we're very bullish for the next 3 months. We're hoping to get a little correction here. Mostly for you guys, because I don't really care. just trading possibilities. Look, a trader shouldn't actually worry about pullbacks or not. Investors or position-based traders, they might care a little bit about pullbacks, get better price, obviously then take it long. We have got a lot of metrics that are saying this market's a little bit overbought at the moment, but even things like sentiment, it massively just shifted to balanced while we dropped 1.5%. The options market stuck between 50, what was it? 57.70, 5800 and 58.50. Guess where we are today? 58.30. Where's that? Right in the perfect zone for the options market. If we manage, and also if you consider the next session, look at the puts. Look at these puts. Who is this? Who is this crazy person putting in the 58.30s? Look at them. Stupid. Okay? They're stupid because they're ruining anyone's chances of even getting a pullback. The market drops 0.2%. Oh, better stack the puts, boys. Well, that's not going to work out, is it? But if the market does, by any chance, collapse on a TA basis, don't use just options here. But if it does collapse on a TA basis, just remember this can create cascade effects as it gets hedged off. All right. But at this point, we're not seeing that action. So we really need the TA action to come with it. And I would say where we are right now at the time of this recording, where we are right here, around this 20 points is really the bare bust ever area if they're going to bust it. They tried on Friday. They're failing so far this morning. We'll see how it goes. Intel is a disappointment. Yeah, Intel sucks as a stock. But that being said, it's at a level where it could get a very large aftermarket move. So that sometimes can actually offer a pretty good opportunity here. 100% not saying it's time for Google to fall now, but I think its dominance in the market is gone. We are seeing the end of Google's empire. It's an interesting concept. We'll close the poll here. 52% of you posted yes, we will get a crash in 2025. That is a 20% plus fall in the markets. And it looks like 48% of you obviously said no crash. I'm going to go with the no crash side myself. I think we'll get a 10% pullback. I think we'll survive 2025. Only just. But I'll reserve the back end of the 2025, the last quarter, because I can, that's where question marks will start to come in particularly. Intel will be hot by Q1, says Travis. Is Intel reporting today? No, I think it's Thursday. Let me just have a look here for you. Oh, not that one. There we go, Thursday. Here you go. Take a snap of that if you want. Wow, poll was close. Yeah, it was. Never rule out a crash. No, we'll use the lead indicators that we have. And of course, if we see a crash, guys, if that is a possibility, we will be one of the first to figure it out. But at this point, we just don't see those major signs. The bonds market's not freaking out. My indicators there aren't freaking out. I'm not seeing the style of trend that I would usually expect from certain sectors. I'm not seeing weakness in the certain areas that I would usually see weakness. And you could say, oh, but the black swan. But generally speaking, even before the black swan, things have gone bad. The biggest concern that anyone should have is that we did uninvert the yield curve. And historically, that has put us on a timer. So you've got to remember, we're in Goldilocks zone right now. Everyone is starting to turn bullish. And even when the markets go down 2%, everybody stacks a puts and then it goes up again. So, this is the Goldilocks period where everyone says, oh, we can never crash again. And I'm pretty sure post-election, you'll start to see the leaders of the world, whether that be Trump or Kamala or whoever it is. Who knows? It could be anybody. At this stage, it could be anyone. Then basically speaking, we will see somebody say, oh, we've fixed the problem. Now, when they say we've fixed it, don't worry, guys. It's all good. We've fixed it. That'll be good. That'll be the time when you'll want to say more terrified at that point than anything else. I love gold. So as you should, Thomas, gold is great. And Bull Rider says tons of unrealized losses. What's this for, Bull Rider? John says, hi, Tim. Any comments on Oz mining stocks? Yeah, a lot of people do call me Tim. My name's Tom, but thank you very much. John says, any Oz mining stocks hoping for 2025 commodity boom, baby. Yeah, John, look, we could get that. If you're looking at Oz stocks, of course, you want to go and look at the particularly big ones. You've got to remember there's still a lot of upside in things like iron ore as well. If you do get a commodities boom, the percentages, the more risky you go, the higher the percentage gain or loss. But they're liquid, a lot of the mining stocks. So it's not really the channel that I would say we would usually cover those. You are welcome to join our free community, 7-day trial, free for 7 days, and then not free. Because you can ask that question there and then I'll answer it in more detail. The crash won't happen because I keep preparing for it and I'm always wrong, says Starlight. That could be true. No worries, John. All good. I think the August carry trade VIX crash was the show for the year. That is very likely the show for this year. And we stick to that at this stage. So remember, we've already done some analog kind of concepts. I've looked at the most likely markets. I've looked at the most likely outcomes. And at this stage, based on every data stat that I've got so far, it just doesn't have a 10% pullback in it this year. It does in 2025. It does. It becomes incredibly likely. Like I would put the stats up there at 90% plus chance. But right now, no. 3, 5, 6, that kind of thing. Let's go to US 2K and have a look here because US 2000 has been a little bit weaker. Now, it had a great close, I think, the previous week. Maybe, yeah, it wasn't a new high, but I think this is actually a pretty strong close. And this is pointing to me that whoever wins, again, I'm not going into the political side, but I'm saying whoever wins the election, there's a decent chance that smaller caps will start to do better. This has been the sleeper that everyone's been talking about, and it hasn't happened. And it seems like every fund manager has been trying to buy the Russell for 2 years now. It's probably coming up on time. It's time based on, I would say, the next 6 months. It's time based on some of the data that I've been presenting on the show. 96th percentile literal valuation difference between the S&P 500 and the smaller caps. That cannot be overlooked. These are stats that do tend to matter. Now, you can't just have a 2 weeks and say, oh, Tom, but Tom, it's down 2% in 2 weeks. Yeah, but that's not the stat, guys. You're looking at a 6-month, 12-month window. But some of the stats we're starting to play with here are looking a bit better for the US 2K. Of course, the pullback was just to the supporty area. I wouldn't be surprised to get a little white before it goes up. But I was doing some percentages, and I feel like the percentage of the drop is probably going to be around there as the worst case at the moment. And the percentage of the gain is obviously first target around this 24.30. So from a risk reward, you're looking at about 2 to 1 at the current rate. And it's an interesting level. What do you guys think in the chat? We'll read some comments out here. Truly, Messiah says, Tom is my Australian twin man. Very cool, Truly. Yes, that means you're Tim. Yes, that show was a banger, says Samuel. And S. Rafik says, have you checked SoFi? The slightest positive numbers on earnings tomorrow should shoot the stock. Is that shoot it bad or shoot it good? Let's quickly go over to yields because, of course, these are the problems that people are really going on about. Obviously, yields now at 4.26. I think we're starting to get the topping for yields. So that means that probably treasuries are about to bottom off for now. Obviously, Druckenmiller and others have been going against this thing. I feel like somewhere in here is probably where we're going to stop. We're obviously at the res at the moment. But I think worst case, probably sitting about 4.5% for the 10-year. So 4.26 at the moment. Maybe it could go up 24 at 5 more basis points. But I wouldn't read into this any more than is being read into it at the moment. Uninversion of yield curve 2025 means 14 months of official recession start. Since when is uninversion of the yield curve giving us official recession? Uninversion of the yield curve is a warning sign from the bonds market, but it is not, I think, the same. And remember, it's when everyone forgets that. I haven't seen anyone mentioning the uninversion of the yield curve anymore, and that's the kind of way it has to be. You want that. Right, Russell is kind of garbage, though. Better to go SP 600. Yeah, absolutely. Classic difference there. You go in that mid cap, that nice quality stock that's about to potentially make it into the S&P 500. You've got the better ratios there. You've got quality stocks that are growing somewhere between hundreds of % per year as well. So absolutely, there's some good stuff there. It's Goldilocks, man. The bears will be quiet, and the honeypots with the honeypot guys Election year is always a bullish one. That's correct. Stat-wise, it is. Also, technically, the year after election is usually okay. And of course, 2026 would be the statistically bad one. Yep. Where's the edge into November? I'm thinking the edge is probably the smaller caps and the mid caps at this stage. But of course, you need to make your own decisions and make your own decisions. Yeah. So you need to make the decisions yourself. Let's have a look at some other stocks that have been blasting. We've, of course, got Tesla here up 0.62. This is in the gamma squeeze, no doubt. I would not FOMO this position, but if you got lucky enough to grab it in here in after hours or even took a gamble on it before, well done to you. Probably descale a bit in here, nothing wrong with that. And at this stage, 280 and 303 seem to be the two main targets that I have for holding the position into. US dollar, nothing much to report here, guys, at resistance. So we're just going to go through these main reads on the market here. I want to do these quickly. We'll go to gold. Gold is meh. Obviously, I'm bullish it, but yeah, crypto looks more fun than gold at the moment. Let's go over to see what I'm not biased. You know, people think that I'm just a gold maniac, and I am. But when crypto crap looks better, we're going to go and look at the crypto crap. Okay, we're going to go the corn, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Solana, the DOT, and that's probably about all I know. Past that point, I'm just not an expert on that stuff. I say max big ass coins or no coins for me. I want the big ass coins, like in stock. Why would I go and trade crap stock? We'll look at SoFi soon, but why would I generally go and have to trade crap stock? We can make great money trading quality stocks and quality coins and quality other things. We don't have to go to the crap ones. Silver, nothing. Pull back in time, sideways, absolutely the type of thing we're looking at here. Let's go over to the Chinese market, CQQQ, sideways. Obviously, I prefer doing the analysis on HSI, but still sideways, still okay for a position-based investor or an investor that's looking at a longer-term gateway, but it's probably not a significant enough trade at this area. So I just don't think there's that much there. Anyone else agree with that statement? Copper still holding its own. Absolute chop city. 4.4 plus closure this week will be significant for copper. So obviously watch that. Let's go to a couple of single stocks. We had a question for SoFi before. And the question was, can this thing keep ripping? Well, yes, it can. It's had one of the better upticks. Of course, you can see I had a little sneaky on this. And I got asked this question last week. How high can this thing go? I think it's like 14 to 16, somewhere in that range. Doesn't seem really ridiculous at all, really, for this stock. So a lot of improvements here in the smaller caps, and things are starting to turn around. Some other ones that are starting to turn as well, like smaller cap hyper growth stocks. Obviously, we've talked about Roku a few times. That's improved in recent weeks, dropped a little bit here. We've had Hood absolutely running out of control. So it's been doing really well. I did notice on Friday, I got asked this question, has solar turned? So I just want to show you TAN for a second. And let's see, you guys are smart. You know what's up. What does this look like to you, everyone? Now, this is a risky sector, but what does this look like to you? I'll read some questions while we're doing this. Sol is my FOMO. Tom is a gold digger. It's possible. I did find gold in the ground, guys. I was panning for the gold. Found some flex, whatever they're called. And I said, how much is this worth? And the guy's like, do you really want to know? I said, yeah, man. Am I rich? He goes, bro, that's worth like, I don't know, a few bucks. I was like, damn it, man. I just spent 3 hours trying to find this stupid ass flex in this bloody cold river. And you're telling me I made $5? He's like, yep. I said, this gold thing's not for me. I'll go buy some paper. It's a whack off. Well, somebody calls it a whack off. It's not a whack off. It could also be an island reversal on the back of the whack off. Yeah. So, yes, it technically could be the beginning of something here moving. Now, this is the worst sector. It's like the worst sector. Worst. It's so bad. It's a terrible sector, guys. It's had many false starts, and that's the problem. It's had a couple of good trades, but they've always been false starts. It always like rallied a little bit and then died. So I don't know if it's the massive turning point. It does have my 1, 2, 3. I do love the 1, 2, 3. I guess I could even argue it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 though, because I have called this probably before. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of base. But yes, it could be a Wyckoff, and this is an interesting one because, of course, not too many people like this. Now, I will say it may be a US election play, but then maybe not. It's already sold off pretty aggressively into the election. So I don't know. But that just looks like TA to me. KRE, regional banks, no activation here, but still fairly strong. ABB says, love the daily intro. Thank you, ABB. Appreciate it. Accumulation. Oh, it says is the whack off lol. Yeah. Fool's gold. No, it was real. Certified fleck of gold. Cold River. Maybe one day I'll come to America again. I'll go up to that place where they shoot, was it Bering Sea gold or something? And I'll find some more gold. I'm sure there's easier ways. But yes, in general, gold is not a good idea. I would not go hunting for it in the forest. On the US bank balance sheets, read tons of unrealized losses. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bank balance sheets have heaps of losses on them from treasuries, yeah? You're talking about treasuries, bull rider, I assume. Spring below support on TAN. Yeah, it's a pretty big one here. Roger says election is overrated. Yeah, correct on stats. Yep. You would be right. You have to ignore. Look, I said here in this new statement, we're saying if it's in the press, it's in the price. Okay. And I have a very important actual question to ask you guys. I'm thinking of making a couple of shirts because I like a couple of these statements. So I'm thinking of making a couple of statement shirts that we can wear, or I'll wear them anyway because I feel like buying some for myself. So I'm going to make a couple. I'll float them to you next week, and you can vote whether you like them or not. If you think they're crap, then we'll just not do them. Good morning, Sandola. Great to have you here. Are you an Aussie? I'm new. Yes, I am, Travis. But we love the US markets the most. Sandola77, $4. I just give Sandola a shout out. Always supports the channel. We love you, Sandola. We love you. KRE, yeah, basically just still pretty good. I also noticed XBI, which is bio, is improving, but still kind of in a sideways action. So if the Russell's going to run, it's going to need those sectors. So the story of today, guys, is gap up in markets. Obviously, there is a possibility here of a little bit of weakness. We played it in the first 5 minutes of the show. If you're interested in going back over that, pretty strong on the Bitcoin this morning. US oil sucks at the moment. Obviously took out stop losses on trades. I probably wouldn't activate any new trade or positions unless you like to live dangerously because, that's kind of getting trashed, 6% down. I'd like to see some reaction. You know, we always want to say that patience, react, don't predict. It kind of busted the low. That's going to happen sometimes. It's been a great run. But, yeah, now you've got to wait for the next setup to happen. All right, as always, let's go through a couple of stocks from the community. I want quality, guys. Give me some good setups. Quality stocks, ideally top 200 or better. What have you got? Give me the stock and the type of setup that you're thinking you're seeing and the time frame, and I will answer. The Bitcoin is pumping hard, mate. It's doing all right. Danger is my middle name. I'm all in, says Willie. All right, good luck there. Abby says PayPal, but I don't know what the pay. Oh, look, I've already looked at PayPal. It's in the middle of nowhere land, but it is currently bullish on the charts. Coin. We'll do coin because coin should be up this morning. It is up. It's good. I'm not, look, you know what? I got to say, I got a little sneaky on coin. I liked the dark pool a little while ago. Remember when I shared the dark pool over here? Did anyone buy over here with little dark pool? I didn't look. It wasn't a replication trade. I just got a little greedy because I was feeling some Bitcoins, and I was like, you know what? This crap coin, I think it's might be turning. It might be turning. Did anyone else get some crap coin? Because so far so good, yeah. And I'm not sure it's done yet. Crap coin has been going up, and I feel like it's going to 260. What do you think? 260 for this thing? A lot of people are asking about run and end phase. Andrew, end phase in particular, we just looked at solar about 5 minutes ago. So yeah, end phase is obviously the logical go for solar. Coin is slowing down though. When you say it's slowing down, it just looks like a Bitcoin chart to me. What am I slowing down with here? Trillium Massage says ETH is crap. Hey, we don't hate on the second one here. I'll buy an autographed T-shirt too. Autographed. This is like when I went to meet, who was it? Forgot now. Valentino Rossi. I still have his autograph. And I remember I ruined the shirt by getting some Australian icon to sign it as well. I was like, oh, why did I ruin this shirt? I could have got Valentino Rossi's signature and like 3 other of the best MotoGP riders. And instead, I ruined it by getting some TV rando Australian personality to sign next to them. And I was like, oh, it's disgusting. Yeah, coin is improving. This is definitely a nice chop. And I like the idea of a breach here into, of course, 260. It's pretty much going to be a Bitcoin style trade. But yeah, dark pools down here. Obviously, a bit of accumulation. It's been all right. It's been all right. Peter Schiff was right about gold. What the hell has Peter Schiff said about gold? I thought Peter Schiff is called bull on gold for 10 years. Am I wrong? Chat, you tell me. SEA and ALF. Okay, getting a lot of requests for ALF. I'm not getting what setup it is, but anyway, we'll look. Yes. Okay, so I've notoriously hated on this company for a while now. However, I can't disagree. I think that the trade looks way better. Someone's selling and someone's buying that baby up. They're trying to get it up. You can see here that there's a decent amount of volume, which I always like to look for in these lows. It's been accumulating for a little while, which is good. I have a feeling this may be politically problematic. You may want to look into tariff effects, I think, on this stock. Don't hold me to it. I can't remember why it is, but I did see it on a chart recently when I was reading through something. In terms of price action, though, really all that matters is cleaning this level. So we need to get above probably about 119. And if you do that, it's got a decent runway on it. Risk reward would be okay. It's all right. I don't hate this one. Hey, Tom, I'm thinking about planning and joining. Thinking about joining. Do you post your stuff everywhere, daily, weekly, monthly? I post, stuff that we obviously go through, and we pretty much do setups and stuff. But you do need to remember I am licensed here. So it's a little bit different to maybe what you think. Just check it out. Check it out, Ryan. And you are welcome to come in and then see what you think. And if you like, you like. And if you don't, that's all cool. SEA, sure. Let's have a look at SEA. What is this? This thing, US Global Sea to Sky Cargo ETF. What? What is this? Oh, I don't know what this is. And I don't really think much of it, unfortunately. Chris says, I've got some crap coin. That's all right. I hope your crap coin goes up. Try 20 years for Peter Schiff. 20 years? Oh. Well, he was right in 2000. Wait, 20 years puts us back to 2004. So he was bullish for the first period and made superior gains. Then he made nothing for 10 years, 12 years. And now he's back, baby. Schiff says gold is going to the moon for the past 50 years. Oh, okay. Probably got in the 70s. Hey, Tom, do you think Tesla is going to 230 after the election? You mean, is it going to go down? Yeah, I think inevitably it'll crash off this moon rising that it's doing right now. Yes. It's inevitable. It always does that. Spot consolidating, looking for a good breakout. I like the fact that you put consolidating. So we have... Hey. Did you lie to me? Come on. Spot consolidating, looking for a breakout. I was really hoping for something here. What is this? It just looks like a super bull run out adrenaline monkey. I don't even have this thing as a subscription. What is it doing? No. I mean, yes, it's in an upward trend, but still, it's just in a channel, I would probably look for a little bit more on this before I was getting excited about it, like that or something. General Electric Aerospace, GE. This stock came back from the dead, and boy, oh boy, was it dead. I mean, look, they're just all really big bullish trends. I mean, if you showed me it here, I would have bulled it. But if you show me it here, it kind of looks like it's on a change of trend towards the downside, frankly. Looks like that. BP intrigues me. It's been on a dive, but it looks like a good entry point soonish. Well, you've got to remember with BP or any of these other massive energy stocks that you're going to get crushed today, of course. And it's been a downward trend, sure. No real change towards the upside. I think the thing here is if I look correctly, which I may be a bit blind, but yeah, it looks like a bit of a downward channel. I would probably say you want to breach a high. At the moment, I mean, really, you need to break through 33.25. I'm looking for energy stocks for us, but I'm just not seeing it in the energy stocks. Even the Evolve, Australian $2.99. Thank you very much. Neo on the 1 day, new higher low after double bottom on support. Well, I like your super chat. Thank you very much. And also, I like your analysis. Let's have a look here. So, yeah, this was one I warned off people a few weeks ago when we got that 7 banger. This was amazing. Amazing breakout and then amazing crush. Yes, I do think that probably around this level is okay. So there's a couple of things I would do here. First off, I'd probably get some kind of fixed range. I'd pull it through the range here. You'll notice that we have a very, I think it's pretty equal kind of transactions. There's actually the least amount of transactions, the most sitting around 455. If we then come over to this price action, again, I'm only doing this to show there's more transactions that seem to have gone through recently on this low. So if we actually pull that across here, we're going to get that very cleanly. So it's technically in the most recent price action trading the most traded zone. That's good. The next thing is, have we actually seen a higher low? So you're saying we're changing the trend already. I'd say no to that, not at this point. We have come down here. We have got chop. We have kind of tried to put in a higher low, but we're not quite through this wick or this price here. So we're starting to improve. Maybe it's a scale kind of concept, but you're really using HSI on this stock. So if the HSI is improving and you're seeing the signs of strength, Evan, that would usually be when I'd go and say, okay, well, Neo's my pick of the bunch or whatever else it might be. Yeah, not bad. Thank you for the donation. Let's have a look at SE. It's been on a runner recently. It's amazing. It's back to $100. Nice breach out a few weeks ago. To me, SE is a fairly decent stock. It shows that consumer discretionary seems to be back around the world. People are consuming. And it's probably on track for, around that 122 at this stage. Just a fairly aggressive trend. Not easy to get into. I'm glad you meant SE because, it's much better. Tesla, checked it out before. 280 is the current target, and then 303. SE is starting to be bullish. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't mind to get like a little like this, but wheat futures, we don't look at those on this channel. They're disgusting. Tom, besides earnings, what's upcoming that could tank the market this week? No doubt it's non-farm payrolls. Good question, though. BYD over NEO. Did you know if you buy BYD cars, you can have the sea lion, the otter, the whale, the walrus. What else, mate? The dolphin. These are the names of the cars. Imagine that. You rock up. Hey, guys. It's like, what'd you buy? I bought a walrus. What? No. What? It doesn't look like a walrus. No, I bought a walrus, man. The BYD walrus coming soon to a store near you. Disgusting names, guys. But yeah, BYD, they are selling quite a lot of cars here in Australia anyway. This question, though, is a good one. Non-farm payrolls is the answer. Halloween can crush the market this week. Why? Because people have sugar overdoses, get poisoned by Hershey's. The seagull looks rad. My goodness. When are they going to make the sperm whale? The BYD polar bear. Oh, are these real names? What is that marketing department? Polar bear, sea lion, dolphin. We'll check out snow. The shark is the ute. The megalodon. Needs to be the megalodon. That's the big ute. That's the what is it, 350 truck or whatever it is. Can you get an F350? The megalodon. Snow improved, still struggling with weekly 20, which was my major concern when it came up. I did like the possibility of a turn on it the other day. Oh, it's pretty good risk reward here. I mean, obviously the company's diluting. There's all sorts of problems with it, but risk reward on the TA is not bad. Tom, do you typically use leverage? Yes. It depends what it is, though. Trades, yes, I'd use leverage. Investments, I tend to use very low leverage, depending on the time in the cycle. So if you're early cycle, I'd use more leverage, and then I'd down it as we get later cycle. The Octonauts is running BYD's marketing department, yeah. Any dark pool activity on MSTR? I haven't seen any more, Max, but it's running at the moment. Obviously, you know, with MSTR, you're looking for that that movement we talked about the other day, which is up to around 260-ish, just based on standard channel. Kamiko. This has had an okay trade on it recently, has it? Oh, no, it was ages ago. No real opinion on Kamiko. Just kind of pulling back here. And in general, the double bottom for a while obviously completed to the top. It broke the high. It's pulling back. It looks like it might maybe it finds some support around the daily 20 and the gap fill, which sits at 51.80. Roku earnings in 2 days. Yeah, I think Roku's coming up soon. Thoughts on regional banks? I think they're still pretty strong. What do you think of Crowd? Haven't looked at Crowd for a little while since I produced that last trade on it. So let's have a look. Crowd is it's improved, hasn't it? A little bit more. So this is obviously where I dumped it. Yeah, I mean, there's still a gap up here at 342. It's making a series of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I'd almost say they're the same length as well recently. So let's have a look here. So we pull this length across. So I'd assume that's going a little bit lower. Length up looks like it's the same. So some length up. Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, so I guess in this case, it's maybe around the support, but there's no TA to pick that up yet. Not sure why US oil looks dead like on Halloween. Yeah, US oil got crushed this morning. It's because geopolitical tensions are seen to be lessening. Obviously, it was the strike on the weekend. The market is using that as, oh, well, you know, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. That seems to be the major narrative, but it could also be a huge flush. And if it is, then we'll definitely talk about this. Moon sapphires. I opened a big short on Merck in February. When should I exit? Is it as in MERK? Merck? Never even heard of this. Ooh. Oh, you've been scared by this day. I have no idea what this is. But when should you exit? I don't know. You tell me, man. I don't know about this stock. Looks crazy. At the moment, I'm mostly focused on what's this US 2K and mid caps doing. I think mid caps and crypto corn. That's the one. And obviously, there's a couple of stocks this week which we'll want to watch. Let's just do a quick flash through Apple into Meta into Google and stuff again. So Apple near the highs, not really easy charting. mean, trend's obviously up, but there's nothing much else you can say. AMD, a little bit more chop city. So not AMD, Amazon, I mean. Amazon has some nice potential here, but the problem is we're leading into Black Friday. It tends to do okay into Black Friday and then has a horrible time afterwards. So that's my only concern with Amazon. In general, not really excellent TA. We know Google has the uninverted head and shoulders, or sorry, inverted head and shoulders. Microsoft looks okay on the charts, certainly a bit stronger. I heard they're trying to buy some Bitcoin. So maybe Microsoft are getting into the Bitcoin angle, and this is improving in terms of the overall analysis. You can see here that most people have called this a left shoulder, head, right shoulder for weakness in Microsoft. Ultimately, this is going to be an earnings kind of decision. It has been trading at a high metric PE. If it manages to live up to expectations, my favorite stock could get back above 440 and then really rally hard into 467. Ultimately going to come back to the earnings though, and that's the problem. When you're looking at this market, is trapped on options, and a lot of these stocks are trapped. People ask me what do I think about NVDA. I still think it's very strong. It looks like it's going towards 150 at this stage. I like NVIDIA, and NVIDIA likes me. And we're very happy with our August buys, aren't we, guys? Anyone buy down here when they're watching the streams and making their own decisions, of course? Geez, the Mondays have been good sometimes this year. Good day, my dudes. I hope you're all having a good, safe trade, says Mr. Buff08. Thank you very much, Mr. Buff. Microsoft wants to be MSTR, probably does. Heard big tech is buying nuclear. Yeah, they certainly have been for a few weeks. We've liked uranium stocks, bit of a pullback on those, but I'm still looking at uranium stocks as being pretty good through to 2025. Dave says here, what do you think of the recent move in the MOVE index, Tom? Yeah, the MOVE plus VIX is obviously the one that people are looking at. So that's NVIDIA, and then Meta, 581 with an 8% expected move. Not my jam. Nope. We'll see how this plays. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of patience, react, and predict opportunities here going. London Farino says NVIDIA is going to 175. Yeah, it's very possible. I think it is too. But if you're looking at the next couple of days into weeks, 150 is the main thing here. Did I miss your AMD comment? No, I didn't mention anything on AMD. I know it's got earnings, but I'm just overall got downward trend line coming close. You've got really bad holds. Like every time, red, crap green, red, crap green. Like, where is the bid? There's no bid. I mean, is AMD terrible? I don't know what's going on with AMD. Something bad with their devices? Or everything's just being delayed, I guess. The price action sucks. I wish it wasn't the way. It would be easier to find good price action. It's been pretty hard to find single stock quality price action up here. I've been doing metals recently, Bitcoin. I mean, obviously we had a little bit of oil. We get currencies have been better. I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like a lot of stock has been just pick a couple of ideas and do a bunch of options credits. What do you think about setting strangles on expected moves? Yeah, I don't mind it, Patrick. I mean, obviously, you can certainly do that with options. That's the thing. Options are being the best at the moment. AMD new CPUs are not as exciting as people thought they would be. Yeah, you can kind of see that in the price here. Can you check Roku chart, Tom? Gap up with earnings reminds me of Tesla. Oh, was it up a lot before? I just kind of was looking at it saying I like it still. I didn't realize it was up on earnings. Sorry, guys. It's not up that much. It's not doing anything. Well, no, I don't see anything there. No worries, Jeff. Today I'm fishing. Yep, that's right. Tom, what about oil? We looked at oil as spot before. We obviously know it's crushed at 5.8% down. The issue is we can't be sure there's a bid on it yet. It's down at this very significant weekly level. Like you cannot discount. Of course, I was bullish on it last week. Don't get me wrong. A lot of wins on oil recently. Unfortunately, took the stop loss in the morning. Swing traders might still be holding with stops below here, but there's no bid. I need to see a bid. I always say patience, react, and predict, guys. It's because in this case, when something hasn't gone your way, you don't just go gallivanting back into the trade and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy the dip. Oh, my God, down 7%. This isn't a stock. This is oil price. So if it keeps dropping, it can keep dropping and it can crush down below. And that's fine because it might be good opportunities to go and look for GDX stock, gold stock. That could be the best opportunity here. Can Tesla print tell us anything going into forward earnings after hours today? I don't think so. But US oil is a very dangerous buy here. It's the most dangerous buy at this level all year, for sure. The way it came down last time, totally different to this way. This is the most dangerous. What about energy stocks? Can't buy them. There's no bid here. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's a big mistake that most people make. They try to buy the dip. Buying the dip on the S&P 500 or the Apple stock is fine, but you've got to ask yourself the question, what if oil drops underneath this level and closes? It could easily be 60 a barrel like this, and it could even go down to the 50s a barrel. You don't know what happens underneath here. It can get very nasty, okay? I heard Tom was looking for a job at MSTR for the employee stock plan. I don't know what it is, but yeah, maybe. Oil could be on a slippery slope. Certainly could be. Oil is going to 65 for sure. Yeah, it may pressure the lows. I don't know. Like you have to just know that the trend is currently down. It took out the lows. That means that the market is putting pressure on the down end. It's not down for 6% for no reason. Someone dumped a massive amount. And ultimately, it's kind of bullish for the market. It also is bucking the trend of yields, which is very interesting because usually if yields have been rising, you generally should see oil going up. And is that a warning sign? What does that mean? But oil going down is not necessarily terrible for inflation, that's for sure. Goldman Sachs is now my number 3 behind Berkshire Hathaway. Goldman Sachs is. I mean, all these banks are pretty good in terms of price action. They're all strong, all new highs, all higher lows. Nothing wrong with that. I got stuck in I love fiat. Why? I think you mean you like converting to fiat in order to invest into crypto, real estate, stocks, bonds, gold. But yeah, well, that's exactly what I mean. But why would you like something that depreciates? Oh, no. I like asset classes, but I like fiat because it allows me to move cleanly between things. And yeah, I don't mind cash. Look, I like cash during certain periods, but yeah, as you're right, I do like assets. I tend to have cash sometimes. It depends on the cycle, man. The thing is, this is the question, by the way, guys. So, yeah, the thing is, sometimes it's good to hold cash. Not usually, but sometimes it's okay. I mean, if you actually looked at the stock market and you went to 2022 start, you held cash for like pretty much 2 years, you weren't doing that badly because you were getting paid tons considering. But yeah, I look, generally speaking, cash is absolutely the worst thing you could be doing. Yes. Ethereum is still bad. Are any of you fellas in it? I think Ethereum is improving, but it has one of the best trade setups on it this week, which is we look at this here, but it needs to get past 25.65. I am not bullish yet. Stephen says this whole Middle East thing is just prepping for more serious stuff after the US elections. Oil's going to 80 plus. Could well be. I'm not going to trade based on a narrative, though. I'm just going to trade based on price action. That's all I do. We do price action. We look at the data. Holding cash is a position, correct? Bitcoin's dominance is 60, time to revert soon. Yeah, once Bitcoin has its rally to an all-time high, eventually you'll see the rest come with it. F chart looks better to invest in post 2 to 3 years, to be honest, if you view it compared to BTC. It takes a while for Ethereum to improve. Yeah, it's not usually the first. The first is Bitcoin. Solana seems to be coming with it. The alts all suck. I mean, I just do a couple of alts here. These are well considered in the past anyway, good alts, yeah? And that's Cardano. And if you look at Cardano, it sucks. Look at it. What is this? Hello? Nothing's happening, hey? XRP. We love our XRP. Anyone else by the way, anyone new have XRP out there? Anyone XRP? You love XRP like we do? Let us know in the chat. XRP, we look at it on Binance. We love XRP on Binance. Oh, yeah. It's a good chart, guys. We love XRP. What do we love about it? It just does nothing. 50 cents, 50 cents, 50 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, $2. Oh, no, 50 cents again. Look at that. It's beautiful. It gives you little hopes. You get your hopes up, and then it smashes them back down. This is actually the perfect training ground, because every time you get your hopes up, it crushes you. It's the perfect trading ground. It trains you to never get your hopes up. This will get your temperament in line. You own XRP, it's the perfect training ground. XRP is a stable coin. Stable until it goes down to 30 cents. XRP is worthless less than the soil I made my cherry tomatoes in. If that's worth more than 52 cents, then sure. SE looks like it's heading to the moon. SE certainly improving here. And by the way, no, we don't like XRP on this channel. Unfortunately, this one is a absolute terrible coin. Terrible. The gateway drug. Can you have a look at JD, please? Michael Burry likes it. Michael Burry. Does anyone even follow? Is this the same guy that told me to sell every asset class for 5 years straight? But now he's telling me to buy JD. Is that right? He was so bad on those tweets. I've got to say that was a disgrace. As well, he should have deleted those tweets. Can you imagine how much money he lost retail traders with his sell everything, crash coming in 2 days? That didn't work out. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Look, JD just looks like any of these other Chinese stocks. Basically, they've all improved. They've all come off nice bases. They've all been in accumulation for a while. You can clearly see the volume improvement. That's good. It's actually held up much better than the other stocks, showing that if Chinese stocks do go, that, of course, this one will probably do even better. Hey, Tom, at what level would you buy even more Bitcoin? Well, I mean, technically, it's in consolidation now into the breakout. So if you believe in the cup and handle, or you believe this is a breakout, you got to be very careful. I'm not going to tell you where to buy or sell specifically, because, of course, you got to make your own decisions. But I think I made it pretty perfectly clear the level that I thought a good day trade was at and where I thought the stop loss would need to be for that. In this case, that's what I would think from an investment perspective. If this thing rips, it'll rip. If it doesn't, well, it'll get crushed back down to something like a 62.5 or even a 60K. Can you check out the NASDAQ? Yeah, we'll do once over here for the major indices. So let's have a look at the US 500. It's coming in 0.65 up. The gap is 58.42 to, of course, the SPX. So we'll just quickly load the SPX here on the side so you guys can see. So we closed last week at 58.08. I've got to say that looks like a bearish candle. And obviously 3 red days in a row. And over here, we're gapping up to 58.43. So that basically means there could be a short trade earlier in the session. I'll show you what that may look like if it was going to happen based on this 5-minute chart. In fact, we actually went lower. So wait, is that 5-minute chart? Oh, wow. Okay, so it actually went lower before while we were talking smack. So technically it's at the short level now. Okay. So yeah, I mean, technically it's at the most traded level. This is where we've seen short ranges come in before. Is it guaranteed? Well, no. Short is harder than long. But obviously, this is where you've got a lot of stop losses. So if we manage to continuously close above here, I would say we're making a new all-time high and keep rallying. But this is where the bears are going to sit. We're pretty much there into the open. And if it's going to find weakness, it'll be around here. Danny says, thanks for your videos, Tom. First thing I watch in Spain when I wake up. Much appreciated. And also massive appreciation for everyone that likes the videos, comments, does the daily watches. You know, we just wouldn't have this community. We wouldn't be able to do these things the way we do them. I wouldn't be motivated to do it anyway if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you very much. Tom, any thoughts on SAP, SE Enterprise Software Company? Yes, I'm aware of it. With a market cap of a lot, yes, 250 billion. And having been the best year since 2003, it has outperformed most of its major big tech competitors this year. Yeah, it really underperformed for a while. So SAP has performed well. I'm not sure on what I think about it. It makes up a huge part of the DAX, if I'm not mistaken. And we can check it out on the chart. So yeah, so the US 500 is right at the res. If it's going to, gap fill would pretty much be the trade. On the NASDAQ side, if you look at this, again, it's trading pretty aggressively. You could even make an argument that if we do sell into the open and get like a gap fill, that it's now turning towards the bull end. Remember, the NASDAQ took a low here. It makes a case for a sell right here where it is. And it actually makes a case for a buy around 20,480. So there is both a sell and a buy case on the NASDAQ still. And that's on the 5-minute chart at this point. So yeah, make of it what you will. Both the S&P and the NASDAQ are at technically where you would see shorts come through. This is the best channel, Darth Buddha. Seal of approval. Oh, I got a seal of approval. Thank you very much. Investments are generally long-term trade. Short-term, invest what you strongly believe in so you can hold for a long period. Yeah, invest in what you strongly believe. Yeah, look, a good rule of thumb is ask yourself the question, and I do this all the time whenever I'm buying something. If the stock market closed for a year or 2 years, let's say, and you couldn't buy or sell it, would you be comfortable? And if the answer is no, and be truthful to yourself, then you shouldn't be investing in it. Because basically that means that you don't have conviction to hold through a crash, through a correction, through the uncertainty of the markets. And that's not mine. I think that's a Buffett quote or Buffett kind of concept. I like it very much. I hate paying short-term capital gains taxes, but I do every quarter. Well, at least you pay them. Let's have a look at this move index for Dave. The move on the move. So a lot of people are talking about this. Move plus VIX is also a concern. So you've got to really, whenever you're looking at any indicator, just overlay the SPX onto it, yeah? And then you'll be able to see whether it has any read. So you'll notice over here, we get like some high move markets. And of course, that's during the bottoming effects. High move market, not during the bottoming effect, really. That's over here, but still whatever this is, 150. Do I think this is a predictive market indicator? Frankly, no. I don't see edge. I know a lot of people cover it. Does anyone here in the chat think this is good? Troy says, yes, I like your words, conviction. Yeah, we must have conviction. No conviction, no investments. I don't think we get much edge from this market, but it is bulling. It's kind of like when you look at the VVIX. If the VVIX is moving and the market underneath isn't, it could be like a small warning sign. The VVIX is up this week, but it's not really enough. It's just a little bit of edge. Maybe you'll use it and attach it to your overall TA. Jacqueline says, Tom, I watch a lot of content on YouTube, and it's fair to say if you leave us, I will miss you the most. You provide so much value. I appreciate that. It may happen one day. We'll see. Investment guy says, your tonality is really boring. Not going to lie. It's interesting. Well, we try our best anyway. I'm not sure if I can really take any more changes to it, but yes. I see what you're saying. You're basically saying is that it's not high pumped full of energy investment guy. Today it's tiring, man. It's 11:51 p.m. We're looking at the market. It's kind of like paint drying a little bit other than oil. So we're stuck in a range. What are we going to do? What site do you use to check implied vols and moving earnings? It depends. I mean, implied volatility of the week. If you're talking about those, you can get them through calendars. Earnings Watcher has them every week, I believe. Hype sellers are exhausting. Yeah, the problem with hyping stuff is it's not a winning strategy. So if you think about all of the best investors and traders in the world, most of them have pretty good temperament. So if you're always running like super hyperactive or super low energy, then you generally won't be winning. You can tell a winner usually based on their temperament. If you look at Druckenmiller back in the day, this guy's got veins and he's got ice cold blood. I don't think he could get excited by anything. Druckenmiller's like this. Charlie Munger's like, Warren Buffett's like, drink it too coke, probably snort cocaine, they wouldn't even move. So, in generality, there's no way that you want to be an absolute hype beast in markets. Remember, that means you're gambling, you're running adrenaline, you're going to lose. You're going to lose big time. So this week is obviously, all about earnings. We're sitting here stuck within the zone. We know where the options are in terms of the levels. So we know that we've got this really close put wall. We've got a very close at the morning open call wall. If the markets do choose to take the Friday close, that could really push through earnings. And ultimately, this is an earnings play. If earnings is good and everyone in the banks likes what they see in the big tech stocks, then we will drive higher. If earnings disappoints, even at the start of these big tech, then all of a sudden we're going to drive lower. We could be at 5,700 like this. Do I think it's a buy the dip situation? Yeah, I think the data plays that way. So at the moment, we stick to the same game plan. We have data that's strong for 3 to 6 months to even 12 months. We have a fairly good buy the dip style market. If there are dips, we've taken advantage of them this year. August, of course, we did together in terms of seeing it here in the live charts. And we asked a simple question. You guys wanted this price 2 weeks ago and you all claimed you'd buy it. Now it's here. What are you going to do about it? It's that simple, yeah? What's the best iron ore company in Australia? Generally speaking, the best one that most people know is BHP. But if you want the most risky in the big ones, usually FMG, and then Rio is technically just a pure iron, pretty much more pure iron play. Any thoughts on TLT? Sure, we'll finish with that one there, guys. Remember, we are at the resistance that we find ourselves at a few minutes ago. There it is. This is the resistance of the day. We've got the gap fill sitting around 58.07. And there are the main levels there. In terms of TLT, we'll check it out. And treasuries are sitting around 92-ish. And this is pretty much where we feel that treasuries should lie. This is about the area between 91, 93, which I would usually expect to see larger transactions. We will hopefully find larger transactions. We'll be looking at them over the next couple of sessions. I feel like there'll be some dark pool trades that'll come through and they may activate the buy up. A lot of people moving from money markets to treasuries. Maybe. I mean, treasuries have been bought up for a long time. Huge bullish positions in treasuries, a little leverage too. It was the most easy to see trade, so everyone did it and didn't work out. I think it'll be a great bull week into elections. Yeah. Do you guys think we should do an election stream? I'm two minds. Obviously, I'm going to remain stock market partial. So we're going to talk just about stocks predominantly, but I wouldn't mind looking at the data stats as they come through. Well, I've traded a few elections and 16 was definitely the most wild. One of the best trade days of my career. That was so crazy. I remember it dropped so much and I was like, yes. Because in the Asian session and obviously late in the US session, my goodness, the opportunities were wild. Dropped like 3%, rallied like 4%. There was a question for SAP before, which I said I would cover. So Treasury is pretty much around the right area for an investor or position based. Look, SAP is on such a run, man. I mean, you can't go against this. But what I would say is it's starting to get a little bit extended. But I would say here it looked extended as well. You ride this thing until it tells you not to ride it anymore. And right now it's the weekly 20. It's been holding it up and it's still going. I would say more than likely, though, you're going to go into a chop. All right. Seems like a few of you might do it. Okay. We'll definitely give it a shot then. We'll see. What day is it on here in Australia? Let me just check. So it'll be 5th, yeah? 5th is 6th, Wednesday. Yeah, should be doable. Okay. We will see what we can do. I'll look at the timings. Obviously, I want to play the data stats. So we'll just kind of talk about the main kind of sectors of the main areas. I've been upping myself in my knowledge of the politics in the US. So I now know all the states and I know all the ones that are in play and I know all the back data actually in them. I went and checked out the counties. And by the way, what is with Texas? Why does Texas have so many counties? What is going on? I mean, Texas is impossible. It's too many counties. It's just so many, so many counties. I think there are more counties than people. Texas is huge. Yeah, but there's more counties than people. I'm not sure how many there are, but yeah, there's a lot of them. Anyway, best trades at the moment, I would say the crypto seems pretty strong, and we still like the look. I'm very tempted by what's going on in the US 500. Obviously, a few weeks ago, I kind of went to a sideways action style credit system. So far, it's going all right. I'm very interested to see if the US 500 will actually reject here today. If it does, and especially if earnings comes in the first one bad for tech, then that is going to be the storyline of the week. Do remember, guys, that really it kicks off here with Google, and then we'll see Meta. And I think Google, PayPal, AMD may set the line on Tuesday. So remember, it's Tuesday, not Monday. Monday is nothing. So that's today. Friday is non-farm payrolls, which could reverse some things. But realistically, it's going to come down to these three. These three should set the tone. That will then have probably effects onto the rest of them. I'm long silver, big consolidation at the moment. Yeah, look, we're very bullish silver. I'm thinking 40 plus an ounce for sure, in my opinion. CTAs, TA, yeah, we'll look at CTAs. I'll bring some CTAs on the next chart. We actually saw big buying in oil. I was surprised to see oil down 6% today. CTAs were up big on that. I'm still hoping for a dip to buy stocks and play options. Yeah, fair enough. Look, of course, I've thought that there may be one around this area. So far, we've just got what we call a pullback in time, which is basically just a sideways market action for a bit. I mean, you may say, oh, well, it's up since September. It is, but let's just actually do the numbers. And I think the Russell is probably the better opportunity should we keep running. So it's up 1.5%. So pretty much crap. It's not much at all. So you've got to remember this is a pullback in time. This is actually chopping. So it may not be the correction that people are thinking, but you've got to remember you already got two of those. 1, 2. It's statistically improbable to get big ones again. Troy Moo. How are you still awake, Troy? Send me a text. I know that is so an alias. Troy Moo. Troy Moo and the Bitcoins. Australia is a desert type of land. The interior is not the best for humans. No one lives, well, barely anyone lives in the middle. Australia is basically a big pile of iron ore and then sharks. All right, everybody. You have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining us here for the Monday Open. Obviously, it's great to have you on board. We'll be coming next Monday. I've got a couple of ideas that I want to bring into the charts, and we might do a special stream next week for, of course, the US election. What do the stats say? What do we think as we start to get the pretty much the only two states that really matter, which is probably North Carolina and Pennsylvania? As we start to figure out what's going on there, then we'll know, and of course the market will be reacting. I'm sure it's going to move up, down, and all around as it does, and that's the beauty of watching the markets during these events. I find that sometimes an event like 2016 will stick in my mind, not because I streamed it, but because I was trading it, and I remember the wild market action. 2020, we streamed it actually. And it was, we didn't really do that much, but sometimes it does. And it's always exciting to be there in those things that are sometimes historical events. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. I'll be bringing you a vid for the end of the day. Catch ya.